Hey, Firearms Friday, and welcome to it. I'm Lee Matthews, and this weekend, Crazy Moose, loose in the hoose. Our good friends over here at H&H have a great special on some of their gun safes. And it doesn't really matter what size you're looking for, because they've got a whole huge selection. And they're Liberty safes, which, as we've already discussed on the program, are quite good. Yeah, some of them can be pretty big, and some of them not as big. It all depends on what you need. The big thing I've learned about having a gun safe is it's not necessarily just the theft protection that you want to worry about. But if you're like me and you have a lot of antique weapons, it's fire protection too. And yes, these things are very heavy. That's the other good thing about H&H. They offer delivery and setup so that you can make sure that it's put into your house properly and that it's bolted down and that the safe will be safe. So come in this weekend and see what the great deals they've got on Liberty safes here at H&H, because they're all going to be special. It's a news item that didn't get a whole lot of play this week, and that was the shooting at the church in Nashville. Now, I contend it's because someone was there with their gun and successfully defended not only themselves, but the rest of the churchgoers. But what would you do if you found yourself in a similar situation? So I thought I'd take you into the First Church of Universal Calibers, and the very Right Reverend David the Marine.
See your war face. You got a war face?
Elderton to run through this. David, you got to be situationally aware even when you're in church.
All the time.
Yeah. I see you're very reverently sitting there.
I am.
Listening to the sermon.
It's a good one.
I bet it is. But you see, we have some guys back here who look like they're up to no good. And David's going to show us how we can react to that.
Yep.
So our sermon's going on, and yea, verily, thereunto I... Now, we got to admit, David, that, that's the last thing you expect in church.
It is. Why headshots? Well, this guy was wearing a tactical vest.
Mm-hmm.
Was it bulletproof? I don't know. And neither would anybody there.
Right. Now, I also want to point out, we saved the good guy. So let's say this was our usher in the back of the church. We blew away the bad guy. Other than being a good steward of the faith, why did you take a knee?
Because I'm a good steward of the faith.
Yes.
One reason tactically to take a knee is if there's somebody behind him like there was, if you get a little bit lower, the shots will go up and hit the wall and over everybody else's head. You don't want to, hey, I shot the bad guy, I stopped him. What happened to Phil? Oh, crap. And we'll show what that looked like in just a sec.
Taking a knee. That's a new way to take a knee.
That's right. That's the best way to take a knee.
And yea, verily, thereunto he said to the... Good throat shots on the bad guy. I'm afraid we took Phil out.
Phil's not too happy.
No. So it did make a big difference as the angle of fire.
Angle of fire really matters when you have crowds.
One of the things I gathered in reading about the scenario in Nashville is the assailant didn't really know too much about what he was doing.
He apparently didn't know a whole lot. He just bought the guns and thought he would go out and cause some mayhem. And
a lot of times, is that the case?
It is the case.
Yeah.
And anything you can do to disrupt their thinking, like throw a hymn book at them. If your first awareness of something going on is shots in the sanctuary, look, see what's going on, and get out of there, or maybe throw a hymn book at him.
Yeah.
Another thing is, what if he has a jam? Well, what's the jam look like? Well, here's something what it look like. You have a case right here.
Stovepipe. Yeah.
If you were to see that in the bad guy's hand, and he's going like this, trying to make it go off, he doesn't know he's got a jam yet. He can't shoot anybody like this.
Yeah.
That might be a good time to rush him and take him down. The other thing is, he's at slide lock.
Right, and it's open.
He's empty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he has another magazine. He did have some spares. Well, how long is it going to take him to get? He can't shoot anybody like this either.
Yeah.
To dig out his magazine to do a reload. How long is that going to take? Well, maybe we could find out. Thanks for not shooting me, by the way.
You're welcome.
I saw you thinking about it. Okay. Reload was 6 3/4 seconds. Almost 7 seconds for that reload.
Now, if you see a bad guy and you're distracting him with all this stuff, you can cover that distance. And just what can you do while the bad guy's trying to reload?
Let's see.
I'm trying not to point the gun at you.
That's what you can do.